Hello, and welcome to the 4th episode of Season 2 of the TheDarkNest podcast. I'm your host, TDN, and as always, I'm joined by our designated bird boy and co-host, As the Raven Dreams. I like how that flows. It flows a little bit better each time. I'm liking it.
It does. Thank you. I feel like my titles are increasing.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit more solidified because, we're practicing at this point. And today, we have a very talented narrator known for his smooth tones and velvety voice that rivets throughout your skull. And he fucking tells you the most terrifying. I hate that I fucked it up. I'm sorry. We're gonna start it again. Why does this always happen? And today we have a very talented narrator known for his smooth tones and velvety voice that rivets throughout your skull as he tells you the most terrifying tales from the internet. From 2-sentence horror stories to the most bone-chilling no sleeps, this channel has got you covered for all of your spooky needs. Please give a warm welcome to Skullface Horror Stories. I am so sorry. My thing went down, and it cut off, and I couldn't see the word, and I was like, no!
Good intro.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
Yeah, we're live.
How you doing, man?
No, happy to be here. Oh, wait, hold on. I still have the skull face effect on. Let me turn it off. Hey, is that better? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. I'm so happy that you did that. I'm so fucked that I fucked up the intro. I'm so sorry. It's only happened one other time, and it honestly made the entire interview awkward for at least the first 10 minutes. So
shame.
I know.
It's all good. I'm listening to you on my headphones, and I think I'm listening to the stream on YouTube as well at the same time. That was messing me up too, I think. I don't know how computers work.
I don't know. Well, I set my windows up on my monitor, like a three-way window type thing, and I guess my notepad had got cut off below Streamlabs that they can barely hear you. I don't understand.
Okay, well,
you're all the way up. Like, you're literally all the way up. You're hurting my ears. Like, I don't understand.
Patience nodded that I'm really quiet, apparently.
I don't understand.
Do you have my audio down in OBS?
Bro,
or Streamlabs?
Bro, what are you talking about? You're both going into the same audio file.
Well, okay. I don't know.
So for the record, I can hear both of you equally, just fine.
Right.
I literally can barely hear Raven. I don't understand. It's not even me. Like, I can't fix this. I don't know what to do.
Now it's good? She said now it's good.
That you're literally hurting my ears, so that's fucking awful.
That makes no sense.
Like, I barely put you up a smidge of what you were. Okay. Streamlabs is terrible. Anyways, let's get on with this this podcast because it's just full of frustration and anger at this point. Yeah, so we have Skullface Horror Stories. He is a newer channel, and we always love to have the newer channels on here because we like to showcase how these guys get started and who inspired them. And, these people are honestly the ones that we should be shining on because they have so much talent and not a lot of people look at them. So thank you for coming on.
Happy to be here, man. Also, I got nothing else going on.
This is honestly easy for me. So
new people on because they're not doing anything else, right?
Basically, yeah.
That's me at least.
Yeah, well, we have mostly new people because all the big people are apparently completely busy all the time. So yeah.
Good for them. No, I kid. I love you guys. I'm happy to be here. It's all good.
So we were just talking about before the stream started that this is completely new to me. That your narration voice that you did in the beginning of the podcast is not your real voice, obviously, because you're talking in a completely different voice now. How did you come up with doing that? Like, why? Like, because your normal voice, I still don't think is bad for narrating. It doesn't sound bad at all. So why?
Oh, thank you.
So why make that voice? And how did you come out to make that voice? Like, what did you do to get to that point?
It started, well, if you've ever heard any of my stories, the obvious connection is, Corpse Husband. He just wants to sound like Corpse. Kind of. That's how it 50% stemmed from. But even before that, I remember when I was like 8 or 9 or 10 watching these haunted house documentaries on Discovery or the Travel Channel or whatever they were on. And the narrator in that particular show was a female, and she had that same kind of like raspy. She couldn't get as low as guys can, I guess, but she just sounded like an evil witch. And I wanted that fryness, and I wanted the deepness of, like the Corpse or whatever. And plus, I wanted to see more character narrators on YouTube as well. A lot of you guys are good at what you do. Thank you. Don't change. But I wanted to hear like an actual Grim Reaper read me a story. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I pulled that from.
It's really sick because there's not, as far as I know, there's nobody who really completely changes their voice to fit basically a personality. Like that Skullface is your personality, and that voice is associated with it. And when you're not Skullface, you're talking normally. So I don't think there is anybody else that I know of. Like there is a lot of people who have that type of tone, but nobody is actively doing it, trying to read a story while completely changing their voice. I don't think there's anybody doing it, especially not as well as you. So that's crazy.
No,
thank you. There's, off the top of my head, I know that there's 4 others out there at least. I'm guaranteed there's dozens more that I've never heard of, but one of the ones that comes to mind on the spot here is Dr. Gallows. He's another character narrator. You guys might check him out later, but yeah, he's another one of the guys that kind of does what I do.
So they're still telling me they can't hear you.
The patient said I sound okay, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I should just step away from the microphone and just let it talk to this.
No. I'll just turn you up a little bit more just in case.
Are they having trouble hearing just Raven?
Yeah, it looks like it's just me.
And you're all at the same audio levels, especially on Streamlabs. Like, I don't understand.
All right, Bird, speak up.
Okay.
Ow.
Nice.
So, now that you have found out that you can do this, and you can do it well,
thank you.
Why narration and not, like, voice acting? Because it would work very well.
I wanted to keep my real life separate from my YouTube life.
Okay.
So much for that, because now I'm doing interviews in my real voice. but I just wanted to be able to turn it on and off. Like, I just wanted to be able to, like, put my phone down and then not be Skullface anymore and just be like, dad or the guy at work or whatever. I just wanted total separateness. I wanted anonymity. But like I said, I don't know. So much for that, because here I am.
So you've been brought to my attention by Raven. That's how I initially found you.
That's huge for me. Thank you.
And as soon as I saw your name in his chat, or maybe I think I saw you on the donation thing. I don't remember what it was, but I saw your name, and I was like, that's an in your fucking face, no pun intended, name. I want to go check him out. Like Skullface horror stories. That's quite the title. So I had to go check it out, and then I heard your voice, and all I felt was like your fucking voice, like literally riveting throughout my skull. Like, I normally put my YouTube videos on like full volume because I'm not used to, I don't know, the literal Grim Reaper speaking into my fucking ear holes. So when it happened, I was like, Jesus Christ. The only person who's ever been able to do that besides you is Mr. Dark Reads. He's not around anymore, but it was the same feeling I had. A smaller channel, well, back then he was larger than me, but a smaller channel who has this insane fucking voice. I'm like, I have to somehow speak with this person. I have to get him either on the podcast or in a video or both. And I still want you in a video if you would be willing to at some point.
Yeah, always. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Because that is just absolutely fucking ridiculous. I love to work with people who have just this immense talent, because I don't. So like, I like to outshine myself a lot of the time with the collaborations. That's why when I found Raven, it was the same thing. It was seeing someone with immense talent, and I wanted to bring them onto my channel to really showcase, like, hey, there's a lot better out there than me. Take a look at it. And it's like a contrast. There's a contrast. Because they see my narrations and they see Raven's narrations, you're able to see a contrast of what I can do and what other people definitely can do, and very efficiently.
Sure.
So I love doing that stuff.
When you post those collaboration videos, do you see, like, getting into like YouTube analytics real quick, do you see a change when you post a collaboration video versus when you just post a regular TDN video?
Honestly, the collaborations, depending on the person, the collaborations are varied. Like, when Gothic Rose is probably my most No, I think Southern Cannibal is like my biggest view-wise collaboration. A lot of people will watch that one.
I didn't know you did one with Southern Canny. That's cool.
I love Canny. He's awesome.
Agreed.
Yeah.
He's just a good dude all around. And then I just asked him one day. We had been talking for a while because my girlfriend showed me him, and I had no idea who he was at that point. But he just popped in the Discord, and we started talking for like hours on end about the horror community and everything. And then I was just like, you want to be in a video? And he's like, yeah, you want to be in a video? I'm like, yeah. So it just happened. So that was cool. But as far as like collaborations go, like some stuff that you wouldn't think works definitely works. Like my collab with Gothic Rose, and at the time she was like the same size as me. I think she might be more than me now. But at the time we were like the same level, and hers went up to like at least 5,000 or 6,000 views or something like that. And I was like, yeah. But others, like, I've had Swamp Dweller on my channel, and those do shit. Like, it doesn't make it like there's
dude,
no.
What is up with that?
I don't know. I've had him on my channel twice, and like every single time he's on, it's like low level. And I don't. It's not why I have him. I love the dude. He's one of like my best friends on here. I only have him on because like sometimes I can't make the content that I want to make, and I have restrictions, and it's just easier to have somebody else on. So I ask him, and he just gives me the audio. So I'm not looking for anything, but you would think that there would be something, and there's not. And I'm not mad about it. It's just weird.
No. Oh yeah, you can't be mad at like.
No, I don't really care.
You can't be upset at that. I might say something that's like gonna not want people to work with me anymore, but like when I post up collaboration videos, none of them do good.
Right.
And I can't explain it. I don't know if it's just because like the people that watch me, they just come to me for one specific thing, and if I give them something else, they don't love it, or what, dude. But like, I'm trying to like, I've got a small group of other YouTubers that are about as into it as I am, lengthwise, as far as how long we've been doing it, and we're all trying to like get up together. And when I have them on, it doesn't do good, and I'm so embarrassed. I hate it.
I think it's because the idea of collabs has kind of gotten like blurred. Like the actual point of them is supposed to make you grow, and it is supposed to get your name out there. But if you're kind of making the same collabs that are in the same cliques and groups of people, you all know each other at this point. So the audience also knows that other person by now. So the collaborations don't actually do anything for you because you know that person, and because they know that person, it's not going to go anywhere. You need to, when you do collabs, you need to branch out to someone, and especially someone who has a different group of audience members than you. Either it doesn't even matter the size at that point. It actually just matters what end of YouTube they're on and who they're showing it to, because there is a lot of different cliques. Sorry, Raven. I just want to finish this one. There is a lot of other cliques in the horror community, and if you find that one person that does have a lot of talent and like you really want to work with them, chances are there is a possibility that they are showing it to people that you've never heard of because they're the same size as you, and they don't have as far as a reach as bigger ones. Those are the ones you have to look for. The smaller channels that aren't in the same cliques as everybody else. You have to like really, it's hard. It's really hard. And it's a once in a lifetime thing that happens, that you find somebody who's not a part of it. But it is a possibility. There's channels with 300,000 subscribers that it happens every day where I hear like, do you know this person? No. How do you not know? They have like I don't know. There's so many fucking narrators. I don't know. Like,
yeah, true.
What were we going to say, Raven? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, man. I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you were almost done, and then you were into it. So what I've found is like the best way for a collab to work well for the person who's coming onto your channel, like mine, like I've had people on mine, is to do a collab on a video that you know is going to do pretty good anyways.
Oh yeah. And I want you to finish, Raven, but check this out, man. The one collab video that's done very well for me is the one that had me and you on it together.
Of course.
You're the exception, so thank you for that. But I mean, like, how can you? Okay, I'm gonna say, how can you plan for something like that? But I think you're about to answer, so go ahead and finish.
Sure. So, unfortunately, planning for something like that means you have to be in it for a while and doing something consistent. Like me, I do the true story collections and the creepypastas as well. For me, my Glitch in the Matrix stories on Monday always do the best. So having those as what I do a collab with someone on typically nets the best results for the secondary party. But if you do a mix of everything, and you're not as obsessively scheduled and containerized like I am, unfortunately.
Basically like me.
You're on it.
Basically like me. No, I'm a big example of lack of consistency, too much variety, and not enough planning. Because of that, anytime I do a collab, it doesn't really benefit either party. So working with me, you'd really just have to want to work with me. That's really it. There's really nothing in it for anybody. It's just that I want to work with those people, and I really like making videos. So when I do make something, it's more of like a pride thing, like, wow, we made this, rather than let's see where this goes. Like, I don't really, I'm not in it for the growth. I'm in it for the creation. So anybody who comes on my channel is kind of a victim of that. Like, you're not really going to get anywhere. I know you see that I have over 2,000 subscribers. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to do anything for anybody. Like, nobody's going to come onto this channel and get exposure, I promise you. But the exposure part of this channel is mostly the podcast. Like, that's why this podcast exists. It used to be, I had a different idea for it, but honestly now it's just to try to bring in as many narrators that we can find that have real talent, and just, you know, pick at their brain a little bit, see what makes them tick, see why they started, see why they do what they do, and how they got to where they are, because that's what everybody is looking for in a narrator nowadays. It's the personality rather than the narrator. So,
You know what, TDN, what you said, 100%, man. I think you bring it back to the full circle, and you remind me why we collectively, most of us at least, do this. And that's not because like we want to get all, it'd be nice to blow up and stuff and be recognized or whatever, but but like foundation, ground, you know, from the ground up, we do it just because we like it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So when you mention it's cool to jump on other people's channels and blah blah blah, and some of them may benefit you, some not. In the end, it shouldn't matter as much as we make it want to, as much as we want it to matter. You know what I mean? Because it's just more about like doing it because you like it.
Exactly.
So
I wouldn't be doing this like this if I liked it. Trust me.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's just, I like, there was a point where like exposure was like a part of my derogative, and like I really wanted to get out there. Like, I really wanted more people to see me, but after a while, it honestly just becomes stale. Like, it just doesn't fulfill you as much as you think it does. And that's why people kind of just plummet, because they expect it to be something and it's completely not. And instead of plummeting, I kind of just was like, all right, instead of just narrations now, I'm just going to make whatever I want. That's it. I'm just going to make anything I want. I'm going to stream whenever I want. Like, that's it. I'm just going to create when I feel like it's the moment to, rather than trying to be consistent and forcing myself to be consistent and trying to motivate myself. It's just not in the cards anymore. I don't knock anybody who could do it and who does do it. I just can't. And it's always been me. And I guess it was bound to happen. Like, this shit was bound to happen, that I would just kind of like completely step back and do something different. I'm honestly surprised I almost did it for 3 years. That's
are you pretty like, are you usually jumpy, or are you like, because what I do is I'll like obsess over something for like 6 months to a year. I'll figure it out, and then I'll just drop it and move on. Are you kind of like that too?
Well, I don't know. It's weird because I've been on YouTube for so long before The Dark Narrator that I have done pretty much every different type of content. I've done vlogs, I've done deep dives, I've done interviews, I've done podcasts, I've done well before this. So when I got here, it was I guess a breath of fresh air, because I found something I truly liked doing, and it started taking off. And I guess that was like the reason for going, is that people really just wanted to listen, and I had never had that before. And now that there's so many people to listen, it's just like, I think I got to where I want to be. I think this is fine. Like, I don't really see the need of it going anywhere else, because like, this is exactly what I wanted for so long, to make stuff, and at least for like 2 or 3 people to listen. I really don't care how many, as long as there is people listening. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
So enough about me, more about you. What is your dream collaboration? I always like to hear about this, because it's either like, I wouldn't say the word is typical, or it's expected, most likely, but I just like to know, like, who do you want to work with the most?
Oh, at the risk of sounding like the world's biggest stan and like no brainer, but like me and Corpse, like, he's a big inspiration. But as far as like bringing it back to reality, I already did one with Raven. I still want to do one with you too, TDN.
Of course, yeah. I'm still gonna do this.
Thanks, man. I think it wouldn't be impossible for me to reach out to Let's Read and
no, it's actually not as impossible as you think.
But him and I can kind of cook up together.
It's
Joel was
actually
awesome.
it's actually very, very possible. Like,
Is it?
like real? Like, I'm not even joking. Like, you'd have an easier time than probably getting like Darkness Prevails, who's a little bit smaller than him. Like, it's so easy to talk to Joel, and he's one of the most down to earth people you'll ever meet in your life. I am honored to have worked with him and just be. He's so in the small part of the community that it's like impossible to fathom how his size and how you're even able to talk to him. I've said this numerous times, but the fact that there's people in the horror community that have damn near 1 million subscribers, and people with like 100 can talk to them. You can't do that in any other genre on YouTube. Not a single one.
That's yeah. I might agree, man. We are in the horror community, in the horror narration community of all things. We are so niche, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to growing my fan base and seeing how big I can take it, and still replying to every single one of my comments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
Just
totally
like
get that. No, just reach out to Joel, honestly. I think he would. You have a super crazy voice, and I think he would love to have you on.
Yeah, I believe that.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. Well,
Dig it.
fine. It's settled. I'll hit him up.
I'll
later.
put it this way for you. The first couple of thumbnails I did for him, we wanted him on the podcast so bad. And we're probably going to get him on again because when I initially had him on, I had COVID. And at that point, I didn't know. But I fatigued so bad that at the end of the podcast, I could barely talk. So we're definitely going to have him on for that. But
Okay.
in order to get him on the podcast, instead of paying me, I asked him, instead of paying me for the thumbnail, could you come on as a guest on my podcast? You know what he fucking did? He was like, yeah, sure, whenever. Do you also want to come on a video of mine? Literally in that sentence. Like,
man.
yeah, like
He is.
that puts it in perspective. Like, he loves it. He's in it because he loves it.
Good for him,
His
man. Good for you, too.
success
That's awesome.
is a subject. It's the obvious outcome of just what he loves. Like, it's not something that he
Right.
expected to happen, and he's not really taking advantage of it. He's still that small YouTuber that he once was, but he's just bigger. Like, nothing's changed about him. Honestly, it probably humbled him even more when he got bigger, because now a lot of people are paying attention to him, and he's like, I don't know what to do.
I'm afraid I'm going to go the other way, and my head's just going to get all big.
Oh, probably,
And,
but it's okay. No, none of us can be like Joel, to be honest. So don't even strive for it.
I'm half serious. I don't know. I don't want to get. I'll just stop right there.
So, I see you have different types of videos throughout your channel, not just narrations, but a few poems as well. What is your process for picking stories? And besides poems and narrations, is there anything else you would like to do as a content creator?
As far as the poems go, that's just me like trying stuff and seeing what sticks. Honestly, my favorite poem of all time. I grew up in the '90s. I watched 10 Things I Hate About You, and when Julia Stiles read that, this is how much I hate you poem. Yo, to this day, I still cry when I watch that scene in that movie. So I had to do my version of that, or Skullface's version of that, and just get it out there and see what happens. I did a couple of like Valentine's Day poems. I did a couple of like poems about death, and I'm just seeing what sticks, man. I don't anticipate going back to the poems, unless something crazy happens. But as far as that goes, dude, I don't know. I forgot the question. Like, what?
What would
how
you
I
want to
pick my
do?
stories?
How do you pick your stories? And besides
Okay.
those, besides narration, is there anything else you would like to do as a content creator?
Oh, how do I pick my stories? Dude, I'm just cruising no sleep and creepypasta and let's not meet and short scary stories and scary stories. It's embarrassing, but I'm on my phone all the time, and I'm just like always messaging authors, yo, can I read this? This is my channel, blah blah blah.
Right.
Whoever says yes. So right now I'm in the spot to where whoever says yes, I read their story. But I try to only ask the stories that have like that are good. I mean, I don't know. How do I rephrase that? You can tell if people like the story on Reddit because of how many upvotes the story has. So I try to go for those first.
Mhm.
And of course, if it's well written, then it's inherently going to be upvoted more, and then that just lends itself more to me wanting to read it. And any other thing that I want to do on the channel, not right now, dude. I'm super busy. Like, I have a couple of lives outside of YouTube, and the work that I'm doing now for the Skullface channel is like I'm at max capacity right now. I'm gonna have to drop something else if I wanted to do more Skullface stuff. stuff, and I don't think I can right now.
No, I totally get that. I'm at the same I'm on the same boat. I'm tackling so many damn things. I don't even know where to fucking turn. Like,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I get it.
So just to rephrase that question, other things you want to do, if you had to do something else other than narrations, what would it be?
As me or as Skullface?
So as the Skullface, well, actually either or. Like if you were told tomorrow you could never narrate another thing, what else would you do instead? For the channel,
I would go back to auditioning for voiceover work, like in my regular voice.
Fair.
I signed up for this website called voices.com. It's like $500 a year. And if you land a couple of gigs, it pays for itself. Right. I would just go back to doing that.
That sounds pretty sick.
Yeah, man. Like, so it's not bad. Like, anybody can, if you have $500 for the year, anybody can sign up for it. You audition for whatever script comes your way, and if they like you, they pick you. You can be like the voice of Walmart Radio, or you can read this guy's audiobook.
I want to be Walmart Radio.
Bro, I'm so done with that fucking I worked at Walmart for 3.5 years. Like I like when I hear Walmart Radio, all I think is the Walmart Radio, and I'm like, I want to punch the bitch in the face whoever fucking recorded that, because like I hate
that's
I
you know what? Here's why I specified Walmart Radio. I was cruising through TikTok the other day, and I ended up in voiceover TikTok, because it's one of my interests, and the chick that is, at least now, the voice of Walmart Radio was on there. I don't know if she was when you worked there. I mean, hard to say, but I got to see her and hear her do the thing. And don't punch her in the face, please. She seems nice.
No, she's probably really nice, but I just like they play it so much after every song. Walmart Radio. I'm gonna kill everybody. I'm gonna murder.
Oh. My very first job was at a Sonic drive-in. I worked there for the summer when I turned 16, and they only had, I swear, like 9 songs that they would play on a loop.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's a business thing. Like, I think they have like approved radio stations that are only able to play certain types of songs. Like, because if they do like, maybe I don't know if Sonic had their own like radio thing or whatever, but I know Walmart. Yeah, so I think they make a radio thing just for the store or all of their stores, and they have approved songs that they're able to actually feature. So if they don't get licenses for the other songs, they just play the same fucking songs over and over. And sometimes it's the same song 3 times in a row. There was one time I was working at Weiss. It's a local Eastern grocery store. And this thing had such a problem. When I first started working there in the winter, the fucking satellite dish had frozen over. So the song that was playing looped like 5 or 6 times before it changed to the next one.
Yes.
I went fucking insane. I was like, I don't want this job. Like, I can't do this. Like, this fucking sucks.
No way. That's crazy, man.
I went fucking insane. I went insane.
So I know Starbucks has an iPod Touch that they have a corporate Spotify playlist they have to play.
Oh, that's cool though.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you can actually just add songs to that. Like,
yeah,
it's easier than trying to get licenses for like the song and putting it on a radio station.
My point there is that it's, at least nowadays, it is easier for companies, I guess, to do that.
Honestly, you should just do that. You should just have it set up in the fucking like the main office or whatever of like a grocery store or something like that, and just have it played throughout all of the radios. I'm pretty sure it just runs through like one control system. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, I wanted to ask, since you brought up Sonic and that you work there, do you have to have experience on the roller skates before you actually get on them, or do they teach you how to use them?
No, you just have to like not be ugly. And since I was, they stuck me in the back of the kitchen and just put me on fries all summer. Oh. No, they don't train you how to use the roller skates. They kind of, you get hired on when you're like 15 or 16, and they kind of just assume that you have the balance to pull it off.
They don't train you to do. That's like a part of the fucking service job. Like,
no, you figure that out yourself.
Like, that's so fucked. Yeah. That's so fucked.
Learn on the job.
The Sonic by me doesn't have roller skates.
I think they're trying to wean out of that because maybe they've had too many injuries.
Yeah, you know what? And now that I think about it, the 2 that are in my town, they don't have skates either, and I don't remember the last time I saw them.
Are you allowed to take the skates home? Like, are they yours, or they just stay at the store?
Dude, I would expect you to take them home. So
yeah, because that's gross, right? You know? It's kind of like a uniform thing. Like, if you're one of the people, Because those people are like, that's what they do, right? They don't like switch between like cook or whatever. They just bring food out to people. They're just like waiters.
Yeah, no, that's it. You just bring the food in and out, and you don't do anything else.
So they wouldn't have to spend like an entire employee base worth of money on skates, I guess. So yeah, I guess you would be able to take them home. I don't know why I'm stuck on that, but I was just like, it's such a weird thing to have like a physical movement system for your thing. Like, like it's to have a restaurant and like your main thing is like, oh, they bring a shit out to you on roller skates like the 50s. Like, it's so, okay, that's cool. Do you teach me? No. Do I get to keep them? Probably, but they suck anyway, so I don't think you would want to ride them outside.
Yeah. That's the honest truth. Yeah, you can probably keep them, but they suck. So of course
they're like cheap skates that we've put fucking like these horrible plastic wheels made out of recycled plastic on, and they just bend every time you turn a corner. Oh, how many milkshakes have been lost?
Thousands. Do you know why they put the little mints on top of your drinks when they give them to you?
No.
Because you, as the customer, are worth a mint to them.
What?
Cheesy, right?
That's really dumb. That's really dumb.
Some dude thought that up like 60 years ago, and it just never went away.
So that's the whole appeal of Sonic, right? It's just that it's kind of like old style, like bring to your car type stuff, but modernized.
I guess.
I've been to Sonic one time. Like, I really don't know much about that fucking place. I did not like what I had when I got there. I was very grossed out. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I'm so stuck on Sonic, but like it's just that place is so weird compared to the rest of the fast food industry. It's so fucking odd.
Yes.
It's an oddity. I don't know. That's all. That's
definitely different.
I tried A&W for the first time yesterday. That was interesting.
It's kind of like the same thing, isn't it? It's like the same thing.
No.
They don't bring it out to you, but it's still like this old timey.
Yeah, no, it is supposed to feel like an old timey like burger place.
Yeah.
The burger was really good. But it was but apparently A&W now is like combining locations with like, you know how like KFC does like Long John Silver's and like Pizza Hut does Taco Bell and stuff. A&W did Long John Silver's, and I got Long John Silver's fries. And I don't know if you know, those are the worst fries in any fast food restaurant ever. Like they are so bad.
Had a Long John Silver fry. Who has the best fries? Raven, Raven, go ahead, buddy.
I was gonna say, well, one, you're wrong. Long John Silver's has fantastic fries, and number two, A&W and Long John Silver's have been part of the same conglomerate for a long time.
Oh, okay. Well, the only reason I'm saying that is because I know I have seen like the actual like full size restaurants.
Sure.
So I don't know. I don't listen. I went there for the first time. I knew nothing about it besides the soda history. I know why that there's in store and like restaurant type sodas.
The only reason I know that is because it's here in Kansas. It has always been Long John Silver's A&W.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
We've always had A&W KFC.
See, we have Kintaco Huts, which is the KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut.
What the fuck?
Pizza Hut, I think, split out. But now it's Taco Bell, Kentucky Fried
Chicken. Because I know Pizza Hut and Taco Bell, they were doing stuff for a very long time.
Yeah, they were all owned by Yum Foods.
Yeah. I think they recently separated though, because I know the one back in my hometown kind of like completely changed from it. I think the same thing happened to KFC. I think KFC also is pulling away from Long John Silver's because I know they had a big thing with them too.
Yep, they were still owned by Yum. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't have Kintaco Huts anymore. We just have KFC Taco Bells.
I've never heard of KFC Taco Bell.
We have the strangest things up here. We have all you can eat KFCs.
Like a buffet?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I know that's really how they do it in like Korea and Japan. Like they have it like that. They have
incredibly.
They actually in KFC in KFC, and I think it's either Korea or Japan. I can't remember, but there's gravy faucets.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, like you know, like where you get like like you can pour your own soda and stuff. You get like the straws and shit. In that same area, there is a thing hanging out of the wall, and it is a spout, and you press the button, and it puts gravy over everything. It's a gravy faucet inside the wall.
Yo, I wouldn't trust that. I don't know how often that gets cleaned, dude.
Well, most of them apparently come out of like the base, and they like refill the tank and clean the tube and everything. But like the base of the counter and stuff. But Yeah, A&W. Oh my god, that soda is ridiculous. Like that root beer is so fucking tasty. Like what the hell? It's so. The only thing that came to mind when I drank it was like clean, like just clean, because it doesn't taste like overly processed. There's not a lot of syrup. It doesn't taste like it was sitting in a factory vat. Like that's what I got from it. And I was like,
that's what I want from a soda. I want that, like,
I want every soda to taste like that.
Teeth away. I want that. No, I've never found a good root beer that I actually. Oh shit, was that loud? Sorry.
No, you're good.
I haven't found a good root beer that I've liked. They all just taste like candy to me, and I don't want that from a soda.
The one from A&W for me just tasted so light. I love it. It was just cool. I don't know. The burger was good too. I don't know. It was just tasty. I like food.
That's okay, man. Dude, drink your root beer. It's all good. Like
I want to buy a barrel of that shit because it tastes nothing like the one from the store at all. Funny fact, I don't know if you guys know actually why there is a store version and a restaurant version of the soda. Back in whenever they started, I don't remember when they started, but about 10 years after, the soda they wanted to start making it and manufacturing it for stores, and a company actually bought the restaurant separately away from the sodas because they became two separate companies. So now... It did come from originally the same place, like the soda did, and at the same company, but that company sold both of them separately. So now the restaurant is owned by a different company and the soda is owned by a different company. So that's why you have A&W bottled sodas in the store, and the restaurants, they used to come from the same place, and now they're completely different.
Dang, I'm 2% smarter now. This is great.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part is they were only together as one thing for like 3 or 4 years. Like they were they were not the actual bottles that you see in stores were only a part of the same company for like the infancy of the restaurant.
Right. Interesting.
They just hold the name now. That's why it tastes so different. It's pretty cool.
I'm right there with you though. Anytime I go to I prefer Long John Silver's as a restaurant. Because I
don't mind Long John Silver's. I just don't like their fries.
I don't. So my only problem with LJS is how greasy it is. But anyways, whenever I go, every time I always get a large root beer because they're A&W as well, and I have to.
Yeah, the root beer is just so good. I asked for a large root beer, and the cup was so small. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Well, if COVID ever goes away, you can sit in, you should ask for a frosty mug.
Yeah. Anime was telling me about that, and I sent her a picture. She was like, "You're going to A&W?" I'm like, "I found one. Like, it's just here. Like, I've never seen one before. It's never usually up here." And so I went over to it. I'm like, "Can we? We just had seen Mortal Kombat, and we wanted food, so we went and we fucking I was searching up stuff, and I was like, "There's an A&W around," and they're like, "The soda?" And I'm like, "Oh, you guys don't know. It's also a restaurant." And they're like, "What do they even sell?" And I'm like, root beer and burgers and fries and stuff, and they're like, from a soda no, it's not it was a restaurant first. And I had to explain like this 30-second spiel that I gave you, and we went, and they're like, their chili cheese dogs are actually pretty good too. Like I had that one that was pretty good too.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a cool experience. I've always wanted to try A&W, and now I'm glad I did.
Can the three of us just take a second to shout out Anime Otome, just say how cool she is for a second?
My beautiful girlfriend, yes. I love you.
Is that who she is?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. I didn't know that. I tried to sneak in a quick live video last week just to see if I could do it and to see what it would entail. And she was like one of the 3 people that hopped on, and she was like,
she is
running tech support for me.
One of the biggest supporters in the entire community. Like,
yeah, she's awesome. I don't know anything about her or anything, but yeah, I just wanted to say
she is my beautiful girlfriend that supports me in everything I do, literally everything.
I had no idea.
And she was the one who told me about the frosty mugs, and I was like, I was like, you told me like after I ordered, and she's like,
Gotcha.
Yeah. No, she is fantastic.
But she's great. I love her.
She's
the
awesome. Reason Dark and I know each other. So.
She's the reason I'm happy. That's all I can say.
True.
It's cool.
Aw, that is just the sweetest thing ever.
She is the best. Everybody should tell you. Everybody say I love anime in the chat. That'd be cool.
I love anime. Yo, you guys want to talk about anime for a second? Like, not your girl, but
like. I mean, I can talk about my girl all day, but Anime, yeah.
We just, I, my wife watches anime without me, and it bums me out because I just want to get into it so bad. But I am about to finish season 1 of what's it called? Demon Slayer. It's so good.
I've heard of it. I haven't actually watched it yet.
Same.
I've heard good things about it. Everybody's talking about it right now.
Tell us why.
If you guys don't watch it, you can just tell me to kick rocks, and we'll talk about something else. But it's all good.
No. Tell us why it's so good.
It's beautiful, dude. Like the storyline is dope because like this kid goes home after a track and his family's died and because of demons, so he learns how to slay demons. But other than that, it's just one of the most beautifully drawn or animated animes I've ever seen. Every scene just it looks like it's 3D and it's just fun to look at. The story's good, which is important, but also it's just fun to look at, dude.
The art style, right? Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So you're a big anime fan, I'm guessing. No, really?
No, I watched
because you brought up anime as like a topic, so I assumed like you.
That's just one of my latest obsessions. I'm not. I don't know. Maybe I just.
Can I give you Can I give you a few recommendations?
Yeah.
There's a surface level one that a lot of people in the anime community shun because like it's a little cheesy at some points, but Sword Art Online is pretty good. I love that show. Death Note is really good.
Bro,
if you're looking,
quick thing on Death Note.
Yes.
I watched that just because I was bored like 6 months ago. I watched all of it. I got to episode 14 and I put it on like as me and the wife were getting ready to go to sleep, and I caught her watching it and I caught her like paying attention to it. And I was like, "Do you like this? What's up?"
No, I was just like, "Hey, you're not allowed to watch this."
No. Well, and then I was like, we can restart this if you want and watch it from episode 1 together. And so we did. So I watched the first 80% of it and then went back and watched all of it again just because she wanted to, which was dope. And then we watched every single live action adaptation of Death Note from Japan and Netflix.
The American one sucks.
You've got to separate what you like about the anime that you can enjoy what's different about the live action.
I thought Ryuk was I thought he looked really cool.
In the Netflix?
Yeah, I thought his actual thing looked really cool. Wasn't he played by Willem Dafoe?
Yeah, he was voiced by him. Yeah,
I don't mind that
I think
too much.
His face was on there too. He did a good job.
Yeah, I thought Ryuk was probably one of the best points, but Light was so fucking stupid. He was so dumb.
Yeah, a lot of plot holes. So since we went on that Death Note binge, Netflix was just like, "Yo, you like anime? Here's 24 titles." So now we're just picking through those. What else? So you mentioned Sword Art, you mentioned Death Note. Keep going.
I would say if you want like a really weird one, an unorthodox one, but it pays off, Dead Man Wonderland. I've heard basically nobody ever talk about this one because it's such a niche anime, but it is an Americanized anime. It is still like made in Japan, but most of the actual original audio is done in America. So it's a weird anime, but I really like it. Okay. I think you should check that one out. Blue Exorcist is pretty good too. I watched
the first couple of episodes of Blue Exorcist, and I'm into it. I'll finish it eventually.
Yeah, no, definitely. And they actually surprisingly just came out with the second season not too long ago, which I was surprised with because they made the first season in like 2011, and they didn't make the second season until like 2017 or 18.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so don't expect a third season because they're probably not going to get to it.
It'll be like 2030 by the time they do, right?
Yeah, so those are a couple of starter recommendations. I say watch all of those, and like that's where those are really good starters for like your entrance into anime, and then you get into like the really deep stuff afterwards.
I can't wait. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff, especially Sword Art. That will pull at your heartstrings. Sword Art will make you cry. Yeah.
All right. Coming up next is going to be like anime creepypastas, so watch out. I'm going to do this.
So I watched episode 200 of Dragon Ball Z, and it wasn't what it seemed.
I can't do animes that have like 600 and something episodes. No, I can't
I was
do
doing
it.
No sleep title of an anime.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, there is people who who love Naruto. I don't dislike the aspect of like the plot of Naruto. I cannot stand how fucking long it is. I can't. I'm too late. Like, I should have caught it when it started because, like, I'm not going all the way back and starting from the beginning. There's no fucking way. Same thing with Dragon Ball. I can't do that.
That was one of my things. When I first realized I was getting into Death Note for the first few episodes, I had this realization that was like, oh no, is this thing 7 seasons long? But luckily, it wasn't. So
Some of my favorite animes are ones that are one-offs, like Death Note and Dead Man Wonderland, especially. Like, those two are one-off shows, and you'll never get a second season, but they're so well done that it's like a little pocket of enjoyment.
And speaking of shows that went on for way too long, are you guys watching The Walking Dead?
I thought you were
Supernatural.
Well, Supernatural ended.
It did, yeah, finally. But dude, after like season 11, 15. It felt like work.
That ending was really well done, though. I'm gonna give them that. Like, they start getting a little for Supernatural.
Right.
I'm not gonna talk about it because I know there's some people in here, especially anime, that hasn't watched it yet. But the ending to Supernatural, the ending to Supernatural, I know they've had some issues and they had some like writing issues, and honestly, around like season like 13 or 14, they were starting to get a little bit before that, they were starting to get really. Like, they were starting to lose their shit. Like, they didn't know what they were doing anymore. And then they really caught a grip in the last, like, 1 or 2 seasons. And the last episode, it was written so well. Like, I wasn't even that into Supernatural. Like, I caught, like, bits and pieces of it. I know all the lore because of my grandmother. But I watched that last episode, and it made me cry.
Dang. How many seasons are there of Supernatural?
15.
Okay, so then 14 was the one that got me like back into it, so I could relate.
Yeah,
I was falling off. The wife wanted to watch Supernatural, so I did for her. When she first got me into it, I was like, "You just like these two handsome dudes, don't you?" But so,
I mean,
but I sat down and I was like, "Yeah, they are handsome. I get it. I'll watch." These two handsome dudes kill monsters and stuff, and they get to meet Scooby Doo. What? All right,
yeah. That episode was really cool. I always loved the aspect of like I always loved the style of Supernatural and like the story, but like there is some seasons that just suck. Like, they just fucking suck. Like, the first 2 seasons are very hard to get through, in my opinion, because it's just hunt monster. Okay, cool. We kill monster. That's cool. Where's Dad? I don't know. And then
yeah, that's it. You just wrapped it up right there, dude.
And the only good part about season 1 is the ending of it, because that's where like the dad part comes in, and they're like, "Oh, we found him." Like, and then season 2, it's like good for the first 2 episodes, and then it sucks until the last episode of that season, and then the season 3 starts to pick up, and then that's where the show starts to get better. But that's so much. There's 22 episodes, and they're 45 minutes each. Like, that's
Jesus,
way too much for me to get through.
Yeah, dude. When you've got 15 seasons, every season has 20-something episodes, and they're all 45 minutes. It just feels like work.
I've only watched episodes from the first 2 seasons, and I don't really like the show, so that makes more sense.
Yeah, no. That's exactly why. It took me 2 tries to try to actually get past season 2 because of how horrible the first 2 seasons are. Like, they're so...
I didn't come in till...
The first 2 seasons are literal filler. Like, there's like 0 substance to most of the episodes. The last 2 episodes of like the first 2 seasons, and maybe like the beginning episodes, are the most interesting because they're like, "Oh, what's this world? Oh, we finally found Dad. Oh, Dad's gone." Like, that's cool. And then like it gets better after a while, but then it falls off. Like season 9 or season 10, it sucks again, and they suck for like 2 more seasons, and then they're back. It's a weird show. I had the same issue with a lot of the CW shows. I think a lot of those have those same aspects. They just go on for too long.
Oh, dude, man! All this to say, you enjoyed the one-off special one season animes that got me going on like TV and stuff, and like America such a hard time letting things go.
Yeah.
When it comes to entertainment, and if the first season made some money, maybe the second one, maybe the third one, and on and on and on. And there's just no end to anything. Just give me 1 or 2 seasons of the best that you got, and let's move on. That's what I want to do.
That was an issue that I had with. There was a show that I really, really love called The Magicians on Sci-Fi, and it was based. The first season's very hard to get through. Like, I'm gonna be honest, but it's not as long. It's like 13 episodes, but the premise is really fucking cool. It's like Hogwarts. Like, these college kids get sent to this magic school, and they have to prove themselves, and if they don't, they get sent back without their memory. But it's also like fucked up. It's like Harry Potter meets Game of Thrones. Like, there's horrible horrible shit happens to these kids. Like they get fucking like a lot of them get killed, and like it's like they think there's this fantasy, and then the fantasy turns out to be exactly how they pictured, but 10 times worse and more fucking like shit happening to them. Like there's it's like I said, like it's Game of Thrones. There's sex, there's blood, there's magic, there's gods, there's monsters, there's creatures. Like it's all over the place. And they get to the 5th season, and they made the 5th season the technical ending to the show because they thought they were going to get axed. So they made like a semi-finale type thing. So the actual ending of that show it's supposed to be a functional finale, a finale, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. It leaves so much to be desired, and I actually got so fucking mad when it ended. Because the rest of the show is so fucking amazing that when it ends, you're like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I still recommend watching it, but the ending, the last episode, it ends. The last episode isn't bad, but now that you know that it's the last episode,
I'm remembering scrolling past The Magicians. I think I started the first 10 minutes.
It's on Netflix, yeah.
Right. Okay, I got to put that back in my list.
If you push past the first season,
10 p.m., I don't make it.
Yeah, if you push past the first season, the second season's a lot better. The third season's like arguably the best one.
Okay,
but I think it's really good. I think you should watch it. So back into you. I'm glad that we did get like a little bit of a segue into a topic that all of us enjoyed at some point.
Yes.
That's always a good thing. But so are you into horror movies at all? If you are, what horror movies do you like? If you don't, what's the worst one you've ever seen?
Man, surface level. I'm not one of those guys that like knows every subgenre and every like B low budget movie. I'm just surface level. My favorite horror movie, and I'll prove it to you, is Cabin in the Woods.
Okay.
Because my favorite movie of all time, genre doesn't matter, is The Truman Show. And when I realized that Cabin in the Woods is just The Truman Show but scary, boom, that's my new favorite horror movie.
The Truman Show is just a very good movie, by the way.
Oh, makes sense. And it's, you agree, right? It's the exact same thing.
I think so, yeah. The only thing that put me off about Cabin in the Woods was that I was under the impression it was a different movie before I went into it. So when I watched it, I was heavily disappointed. So that I had to rewatch it with the actual mindset of what it actually was. And then
what did you think it was?
I thought it was like an actual like scary movie. Like I thought it was like I was supposed to get scared. And halfway through, I'm like, this is fucking horrible. Like nothing's happening. Like it's just all fucking jokes. Like I don't get what's going on. And I finished the movie. I'm like, that's it. Like, and then my friend Josh told me, he's like, no, it's like a homage and also satire to all the best horror movies ever made put together in like just a perfect thing. And I'm like, see, that's the same thing that happened with The Princess Bride. My girlfriend told me it was a fucking like a sappy medieval love story, and it is, but it's way more than that. And so when I went into it 20 minutes into The Princess Bride, I'm like, this is dumb. And then I finished the fucking movie and I'm like, oh, this is satire. Like it's perfect satire. And then I watched Cabin in the Woods with the idea that it was a homage and just a really well-made like satire type thing. Half parody, half satire, half homage type thing. And when I rewatched it, I enjoyed it very thoroughly. Because I wasn't looking at the actual like well-written aspects of it. I wanted to get scared because I was told it was a scary Cabin in the Woods movie, and it was not.
Now, did you watch it when it came out, or just more like?
No, I watched it more recently, the last like couple of years.
Okay. Me too, same. And I didn't know what to expect. I just knew a lot of people liked it, but I didn't figure out. I didn't like go looking for why. So I put it on, and then when I made that connection, I was like, "This is the best movie ever."
It was okay. So. Just like I'm gonna say the one thing that I'm gonna say this on stream that I don't like totally love about my girlfriend is that she is horrible at explaining things. So so when it came to Cabin in the Woods, she's the one who told me it was scary. So because she said it scared her. So I watched it. I not as much as she was making it out to be. Like I was expecting full fleshed out horror. Like this was like. Not at all what she said it was. And when I watched it, that's what got me. And It was the same thing with The Princess Bride. Oh, it's like one of my favorite love stories, and it's like so nice and so sweet and so sappy, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want that. And then she shows it to me, and I'm like, I love a good love story, but like the idea of just like a medieval love story and it's like all lovey dove, it has to have, I don't know. It just, on the surface, it didn't look good to me. And then I watched it, and I fucking I loved it. I watched it like 3 times after she showed it to me. But it was the way she explained it to me that I just like, it was awesome. She was like, I don't want to, she says it in the chat, if I said any more I would give it away. I'm like, you said nothing that would make me like it, nothing. Oh my god, I still don't, I love her, but
of course
she's showing me movies that I never would have watched, like ever in my fucking life would have watched. There was, I don't remember what it's called. There is a Robin Williams movie from the 90s where he's gay. Like, I don't remember what it's called.
Oh.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, right?
There you go.
What?
Wait.
Is that the one Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Or am I wrong?
No.
It's where he owns like a club. He owns like a drag club, and like everybody's gay.
I think that one got past me.
I don't remember what it's called.
Did you watch that? Was it good?
It's not for me.
Birdcage?
Birdcage.
Oh.
So you were on the right track there, Skullface. You were on the right track.
Yeah, I don't think it was a bad movie. I definitely I actually really enjoyed it, especially halfway through. Like halfway through, it started getting really like complex, and I really liked it. But like, I don't know. I was just everybody. It wasn't like the concept of it. It was just like, this is so weird. Like, I don't know where the story's supposed to go. Like, what the fuck is happening?
And there's some movies that like there is no story, and that's like the whole.
No, that's what I thought. I was like, this is all over the place, and it actually is all over the place till like halfway through the movie. So I was really fucking confused, and I think that's why it kind of made me indifferent. I might have to watch it again, but it was still cool. And then she showed me Chocolat with Johnny Depp, and I don't remember the main actress's name, but that's a fucking phenomenal movie. I think everybody should watch that movie. That's pretty good. I don't know if you guys know what it's about. It's about chocolate. With him. It's about fucking chocolate. It's great.
You say Johnny Depp, another Johnny Depp movie about chocolate? Oh god.
Yeah, but this one's way better.
It's called Chocolat, and it's about chocolate.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite jokes, man. Like when Man on a Ledge came out, I was like, "Oh, what's that movie about?" I just have that kind of humor where it's like, it's obvious.
Yeah, but that's the same thing about Man on a Ledge. Is like, you think it's just about chocolate, but it's actually way more about like who she is as a person, and like why she's going to random villages that just hate everything about like extra different people. Like, if the village she goes to is just like completely Christian Catholic style, like nobody does anything that isn't in the Bible. Like, these people are by the book Christians, and she comes to this town during Lent to make chocolate, to sell people chocolate during Lent, and everybody's Christian. Okay, yeah. So
sure that goes well.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing. But it's the same thing at Man on a Ledge, where it's not just a man on a ledge. It's so much more than just a man on a ledge. But it's really funny that it's like, oh, I wonder what that's about. Oh, it's a man on a ledge. It's not though. Like, it's more.
That's just my dumb dad humor. That's all. Yo, TDN and Raven, I love you guys. I only got a few minutes left. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to touch on?
Actually, there was one thing that I wanted to pick your brain about. It's something currently that's going on in all of YouTube as a whole, and me and Raven just brought it up. I don't know if you know about
the shorts thing.
This is the shorts thing. The shorts thing. I don't know if anybody in the chat knows about this. So basically, you have to, if you're a YouTuber right now, pay attention because this is very important. There is a box now that you have to tick on not just your channel, but every single video you put out.
Yep.
This box ever put out. Like, you have to go back to the stuff you already made and uncheck this box. This box basically states that if you have this, what is it, checked or unchecked? I don't remember.
Checked.
It's checked. If you have this box checked, this means that people can legally and without any copyright constraints take short clips from your videos, and it's actually given to them accessibly by YouTube, and they can put it in their own content.
Yep. And there would be no method of copyright claiming it.
And there is nothing that you can do to get it back.
The only saving grace is that you cannot monetize shorts.
Yeah.
For now.
But the fact that they're doing this at all, like anything could happen.
And it's on by default for everybody.
So like this is
that put a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Any YouTuber right now like needs to fucking like crack down on this shit.
So now everybody needs to go and start stealing PewDiePie's content for their own shorts to get him pissed off.
He probably has like a moderator on his channel already on it, like just unticking all the boxes.
Just go to the official channel for Disney and start stealing their stuff. Something will happen.
Yeah, because they probably don't regulate it like that.
Right.
I mean, all they have to do is just send like 50 people. Like they have an unimaginable amount of people just that they could just send and do it for them, but they won't notice until like it's already happening. And they try to copyright strike it. It's like it's not working. Help! But this is a huge issue, and YouTube is only getting worse with its algorithms and its stupid restrictions. And the freedom it's giving to people who are just blatantly stealing content. Like I know Time 6 is having huge issues with CD Baby taking their stuff.
I think that's it, man. Because like on TikTok, you can use somebody else's video or their sound and react to it, like no sweat. YouTube wants people to do that too. They want people to react to other. Yeah, 100%. So, but
I mean, they have shorts now. Like they do the stories and stuff. Like they're trying to become what everybody else is trying to be. I miss 2013 YouTube. There was like so much good content coming out. Honestly, that's like my favorite year for this platform. Like
I miss 2019 YouTube.
I mainly like it because like everybody was doing stuff and like it was still new. Like everybody was breaking out into like the indie horror game stuff and people were still doing that. They were trying to collab with each other. You found so many different YouTubers. There was like really good like vlogs going on. People were trying to go to other places in the world to give you good content, and there was just it was better. Everything felt better. It felt like nicer. Like it didn't feel like everybody was out to like rip your fucking asshole open for no reason. And now it's just like I don't even want to be on here anymore. Like what the fuck is the point? Right. Everything is just trying to be taken away from you by the people who supposedly give a shit. Yeah, I don't know.
I felt that same turn like when Logan Paul posted that Japanese suicide force video.
And it took forever for him to get taken down.
Oh, dude, and I went, I don't like the way this feels. And
YouTube, it took YouTube forever to really do stuff about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he was monetized for like 6 months after that, and all they did was demonetize him, and then he got his shit back. Like not 2 months later.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're too big of a content creator. You give us too much money, so no.
True.
But all right, we should probably cut.
What else you got?
Okay.
I mean, you said you had a couple. No, you said you had a couple minutes left, so I'll just cut it here for you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't want to. I want to keep. I don't want to keep you if you don't have time. But that's not saying that we won't have you on again if you're not willing.
I'm willing.
Okay. We will definitely have you on again because we were trying to get repeating guests. And speaking of which, that's a good segue into next week's guest, where we have again Raven Reads for 3 p.m. EST next Sunday. I am so excited because besides this one, I actually really liked this episode. Like there was a lot of like chatter going on, and there was a lot of like good segues into topics. I really enjoyed this one. It's not to say that we don't enjoy any of the other episodes. There's just sometimes where the actual talking kind of just bounces off each other, and it's not the guest or anything. It's just like sometimes the topics just don't work, or the guest itself doesn't know anything on it, and there's not much that they could say on it. But with Skull and Raven Reads especially, we could just not be here, and she would have talked to herself. Like, like it was to this day, there's not been a single guest. She felt like another host. Like it was crazy that day. But yeah, she's coming on. Raven Reads is coming on next Sunday, 3 p.m. EST. This has been the TheDarkNest podcast. Please go check out Skullface in the description. His Twitter and YouTube will be down in the description, as well as the Raven Dreams. He is down in the description as well of his YouTube and Twitter always. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm TDN. That is As the Raven Dreams. This is the TheDarkNest podcast season 2, and we'll see you guys next week for another episode.
Adios.